We got married yesterday. Didn't need you there. My daughter-in-law said that to my face, in front of my entire family, while holding champagne, while wearing her wedding dress. I drove 3 hours thinking I was helping plan their wedding. Instead, I walked into the after party of a secret ceremony I was never invited to. But here's the thing they didn't know. That lawyer who called right in the middle of their celebration, he was about to make me a millionaire, and I was about to make them regret everything. Hi, I'm Elise, 35 years old, and this is the story of how my family tried to erase me, and I erased their future instead. I grew up invisible, middle sister, the reliable one. While my brother Jake was the golden boy with the tech job and the perfect life, I was pulling double shifts at the hospital. I'm a nurse, the one who showed up at 2 a.m. for emergencies, the one who paid mom's bills when her credit cards maxed out, the one who always said yes. I had this dream of opening a community center for underprivileged kids. Every time I mentioned it, Jake would laugh. Elise, you're a nurse. You make, what, $60K? That's a $1 million dream on a minimum wage budget. My family dismissed it as a pipe dream, a hobby, something to keep me busy. What they didn't know, I was building an empire they couldn't see. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If you've ever been the invisible child, the overlooked sibling, the family member they forget to invite, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment if you've ever felt erased by your own blood. And hit like because this story is about to get wild. So there I was, standing in my childhood living room, staring at my brother and his new wife. Victoria, my daughter-in-law, was showing off her ring, 3 carats. My mom was crying happy tears. My dad was pouring champagne. Aunts and uncles I hadn't seen in years were all, "We got married yesterday. Didn't need you there." My daughter-in-law said that to my face, in front of my entire family, while holding champagne, while wearing her wedding dress. I drove 3 hours thinking I was helping plan their wedding. Instead, I walked into the after party of a secret ceremony I was never invited to. But here's the thing they didn't know. That lawyer who called right in the middle of their celebration, he was about to make me a millionaire, and I was about to make them regret everything. Hi, I'm Elise, 35 years old, and this is the story of how my family tried to erase me, and I erased their future instead. I grew up invisible, middle sister, the reliable one. While my brother Jake was the golden boy with the tech job and the perfect life, I was pulling double shifts at the hospital. I'm a nurse, the one who showed up at 2 a.m. for emergencies, the one who paid mom's bills when her credit cards maxed out, the one who always said yes. I had this dream of opening a community center for underprivileged kids. Every time I mentioned it, Jake would laugh. Elise, you're a nurse. You make, what, $60K? That's a $1 million dream on a minimum wage budget. My family dismissed it as a pipe dream, a hobby, something to keep me busy. What they didn't know, I was building an empire they couldn't see. But I'm getting ahead of myself. If you've ever been the invisible child, the overlooked sibling, the family member they forget to invite, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment if you've ever felt erased by your own blood. And hit like because this story is about to get wild. So there I was, standing in my childhood living room, staring at my brother and his new wife. Victoria, my daughter-in-law, was showing off her ring, 3 carats. My mom was crying happy tears. My dad was pouring champagne. Aunts and uncles I hadn't seen in years were all there. Wait, my voice sounded small. When did this happen? Victoria smiled, that fake, sweet smile. Yesterday. We had the most beautiful, intimate ceremony, just our closest people. I looked around the room. 30 people. 30 people who all knew about this wedding except me. My brother Jake pulled me into the kitchen. The marble countertops were covered with expensive catering trays, the kind that cost thousands of dollars. Don't make a scene, Elise. A scene? You got married without telling me? He sighed, like I was being difficult. Look, Victoria's family is huge. We have limited space. And honestly, if you came, we'd have to seat you in the back with the B-list guests. You understand, right? Weddings are for the inner circle. Inner circle? I helped raise him. I co-signed his first apartment. I lent him $5,000 when his startup failed. So I'm not inner circle? You're sweet, Elise. You're just, you're the nurse. Victoria and I were building something bigger. We need people around us who match our energy. I walked back to the living room. My hands were shaking. Victoria was in the middle of a toast. So here's a funny story. We cut the guest list by half, saved so much money on chairs and meals. Sometimes you just have to trim the fat, People laughed. My own mother laughed. That's when my phone rang. Robert Chen, attorney at law. I stepped onto the back porch. The cold air hit my face. Hello? Elise, this is Robert Chen. I handled your Aunt Margaret's estate. I need you at my office tomorrow at 2 p.m. for the will reading. Okay? Elise, his voice dropped. Don't tell anyone about this call, especially not your brother. Can you do that? Why? Your aunt left very specific instructions. I'll explain everything tomorrow, but whatever you do, don't mention this to your family yet. He hung up. I stood there, holding my phone, staring through the window at my family celebrating a wedding I wasn't invited to. I had no idea my life was about to change forever. The next morning, Jake texted me at 6:47 a.m. Hey sis, so about the wedding, we spent $300 per plate. Since you didn't come, mind Venmoing us for your spot? Would have been nice to have that heads up that you weren't coming. Don't be cheap now. Family helps family. I read that message 5 times. They excluded me, and now I owed them $300? I didn't respond. That Sunday, the whole family gathered at Mom's house for dinner. Everyone was there. Everyone except me, apparently, when it came to important events. Victoria was taking photos. She set up the scene by the fireplace. Okay, everyone, family photo time. I started walking over. She looked right through me. Jake, your mom, your dad, Rachel, and me. Perfect. My sister Rachel whispered something to Victoria. I caught 2 words. Not photogenic. I'm heavier than Rachel. I don't wear makeup to every event. I show up in scrubs more than designer dresses. I sat at the dinner table alone while they laughed and posed in the next room. The photos got posted that night. Jake's Instagram, family first, #blessed, #best day ever. I wasn't in a single photo. 37 photos, 0 with me. The next day, Rachel posted on Facebook. So disappointed in family members who can't even show up for major events. My brother got married, and certain people couldn't be bothered. Some people only think about themselves. You know who you are. The comments exploded. Relatives calling me selfish, high school friends asking what happened to me, people I barely knew judging me for something I had no control over. I sat in my apartment that night crying into my journal. Then I opened my laptop. Animus family, 483,000 followers. I'd been running this blog for 3 years, late nights after 12-hour shifts, typing out real stories about toxic family dynamics, gaslighting, manipulation, scapegoating, golden children, and forgotten siblings. I never used real names, never posted identifying photos, just raw truth. And it went viral. Brand deals, sponsorships, book agents reaching out. I'd made $287,000 from that blog, money sitting in a separate bank account nobody knew existed. My family followed my blog. My mom sent me links to my own posts saying, "This writer really gets it." They had no idea they were reading about themselves. At dinner the next week, Jake was going on about Aunt Margaret. I'm obviously getting the beach house. She always said I reminded her of herself. Smart, ambitious, a real go-getter. Victoria nodded. We're already planning renovations, knocking down walls, modern open concept. The beach house was worth $1.2 million. My dad smiled. Margaret loved you, Jake. She always said you were going places. Nobody mentioned that I visited Aunt Margaret every single week for 3 years, that I managed her medications, that I held her hand when she was dying in the hospital. Rachel smirked at me. Elise, you still doing that nurse thing? Yes. I mean, it's noble and all, but you're not exactly changing the world. And that community center fantasy you talk about? She laughed. Girl, you'd need like $1 million. You make, what, $60K a year? That's never happening. I smiled. You're right, it probably won't. Inside, I was calculating. With my blog money and whatever Aunt Margaret left me, I might actually have enough. What they didn't know was that late nights typing weren't wasted. I'd built something huge under a fake name. I had drafts saved, posts with screenshots of Jake's Venmo request, recordings of Rachel calling me the fat sister on a voice memo she accidentally sent me, photos they cropped me out of with metadata showing the originals. I had receipts for everything. But timing was everything. I looked at my phone under the table. One click, and the world would see who they really were. The next day, I met my cousin Diana at a coffee shop downtown. Diana married someone the family hated, moved to Seattle, and only came back for funerals. I saw Rachel's post. I've been there. When I got engaged, they staged an intervention to talk me out of it. When I married him anyway, they showed up to my wedding drunk and left during dinner. I didn't know that. They're good at hiding their cruelty. But Elise, I know about anonymous family. My blood ran cold. What? I'm a digital forensic analyst. I tracked your writing patterns. The stories match too perfectly. You're her, aren't you? I didn't answer. Diana leaned forward. Whatever you're planning, I'm with you. They need to face consequences, and I'll testify to everything if you need me to. That night, Jake texted me. Big family reunion this Saturday. We're doing a live stream for relatives who can't make it. Victoria wants to show off her ring to everyone. You should come. Let's squash this weirdness. Be the bigger person. Be the bigger person. Code for let us humiliate you and say nothing. I texted back, I'll be there. Then I went to Robert Chen's office. He was a small man with gray hair and kind eyes. He slid a folder across his desk. Your Aunt Margaret left you everything. What? The beach house, her investment portfolio, her savings, everything. It comes to $2.3 million. I couldn't breathe. She changed her will 6 months before she died. She left a letter for you. He handed me an envelope. I opened it with shaking hands. Dearest Elise, you were the only one who saw me as a person, not a bank account. Jake visited twice in 3 years, both times to ask for money. You came every week. You brought me books. You made me laugh. They think they're entitled to my money. They're not. You earned it with your kindness. Use it to build something beautiful, and don't let them bully you. Love, Aunt Margaret. I started crying. Robert handed me tissues. There's one condition. You can't tell anyone about this inheritance until after the will reading, which is scheduled for next Monday. Your aunt wanted it that way. Why? She wanted to see how your family would treat you without knowing you'd inherited anything. She wanted them to show their true colors. I walked out of that office with a plan. Saturday came, the family reunion. My parents' backyard was decorated with string lights, a catered buffet, open bar. Jake had set up professional cameras for the live stream. I arrived with my laptop, my phone, and Diana. The live stream started at 6 p.m. Jake and Victoria stood in front of the camera, golden hour lighting making them look perfect. Hey everyone, welcome to the Thompson family reunion. We're so excited to celebrate with you. Victoria jumped in, and we're still celebrating our amazing wedding, the intimate ceremony where we only invited our real, genuine loved ones. Sometimes you have to cut out the toxicity, you know? She looked right at me when she said that. The live chat was filling up, hundreds of people watching. Oh, Elise is here. Victoria's voice was saccharine sweet. Come say hi to everyone. I walked into frame with my laptop. Actually, I have something to share. Victoria's smile froze. What? I turned my laptop screen to the camera. My blog loaded. Anonymous family. 483,000 followers. My face next to the profile now. Everyone watching? I'm Anonymous Family. I've been writing about toxic family dynamics for 3 years. Every story on this blog, it's about them. The comments section exploded. 5,000 viewers, 10,000, 20,000. Jake's face went white. Elise, what are you doing? I pulled up my first post. Screenshots of Jake's Venmo request for the wedding I wasn't invited to. The timestamp showing it was sent at 6:47 a.m., the morning after the secret ceremony. This is my brother demanding $300 from me for a wedding he didn't invite me to. Victoria lunged for my laptop. This is fake. She's lying. But I had more. Rachel's voice memo played on the live stream, her actual voice. Honestly, Elise is the fat sister. We can't have her in photos. She brings down the aesthetic. 50,000 viewers. Photos loaded on screen. The family photos from Sunday dinner. Then I showed the metadata, the original versions with me cropped out. They erased me from family memories, literally cut me out of photos. My mom tried to grab my phone. "You're destroying this family." "I'm exposing what you've done." Diana stepped into frame. "I'm Diana Thompson. Everything she's saying is true. This family did the same thing to me. I have my own receipts." 100,000 viewers. My phone started ringing. Notifications flooded in. Brand sponsors, news outlets, a producer from a morning show. Jake stammered, "Elise, please delete this. We can talk about this privately." "Like you talked to me privately about your wedding?" Victoria was crying now, mascara running, but not sad crying, angry crying. "You're ruining my special day." "Your wedding was last week." 200,000 viewers. The comments were brutal. "Drag them. This family is toxic. She's the villain. They're the villains. I'm sharing this everywhere." Rachel tried to defend herself in the comments, but people found her Facebook profile within minutes. Her employer got tagged. Her friends started questioning her. The live stream went on for 47 minutes. By the time I ended it, we had 2.7 million views. I closed my laptop, looked at my family. "By the way, Aunt Margaret's will reading is Monday. You should all be there." Jake's eyes lit up. "The beach house is mine. She left me everything. $2.3 million. The house, the stocks, everything." You could hear a pin drop. "She changed her will 6 months ago. She left me a letter saying you only visited her when you wanted money. She said I was the only one who actually loved her." Victoria's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the grass. My mom whispered, "That's not possible." "It's very possible. I have the paperwork. Robert Chen can confirm it." Jake's face turned red. "You planned this. You manipulated her." "I visited her every week. I held her hand while she was dying. Where were you?" The live stream had ended, but someone was still recording on their phone. This was going to be everywhere. I picked up my laptop and walked away. The fallout was immediate. By Sunday morning, the video had 15 million views across platforms. News articles were being written, Reddit threads were dissecting every detail. Jake lost 3 major clients who saw the video and didn't want to be associated with him. His company's Yelp page got bombed with 1-star reviews. Rachel got put on administrative leave from her marketing job while they investigated the allegations. Her Instagram went private, but not before she lost 4,000 followers. Victoria's influencer career died overnight. Brands dropped her. Her carefully curated image was destroyed. My family called, texted, emailed, hundreds of messages. I didn't answer. Instead, I took my inheritance and my blog money and I opened my community center. The grand opening had a line around the block. 300 kids showed up. Parents cried, thanking me for creating a safe space. We offered free tutoring, art classes, sports programs, mental health counseling. Everything I dreamed of. Local news covered it. National news picked it up. Viral family drama star opens community center with inheritance. More donations poured in. We expanded to 3 locations within a year. 6 months later, Jake showed up at my community center. He looked smaller somehow, tired. "Elise, we need to talk." "No, you need to listen." I didn't stop organizing supplies. "For 35 years, I was invisible to you, the reliable one who didn't matter, the one you could exclude, mock, and erase. We were wrong. You were cruel, deliberately cruel, and not just once, over and over again. Can we fix this?" His voice cracked. I looked around my community center, kids learning, growing, thriving, a place I built with the power I'd quietly accumulated while they dismissed me. I chose my family now. These kids, these parents, the people who see value in kindness, not just status. You're not part of that. "Elise, please." The beach house is being turned into a shelter for foster kids. Aunt Margaret would have loved that. The stock money is funding scholarships. Every dollar she left me is going to help people you would have ignored. He stood there, defeated. You taught me something important, Jake. The overlooked are always watching, always learning, always building, and when the time comes, we don't just rise, we soar. He left without another word. My blog now has 1.2 million followers. I write about healing, about setting boundaries, about choosing your own family. The kids at my community center call me Miss Elise. They make me cards. They tell me I changed their lives. My biological family, they're still dealing with the fallout, still trying to rebuild reputations, still learning that actions have consequences. And me? I wake up every day knowing I built something real, something that matters, something they can never take away. Betrayal taught me the greatest lesson. The overlooked are often the ones who hold the real power. Ever been uninvited to a family wedding? Ever been cropped out of photos like you don't matter? That pain is real, and you're not alone. Subscribe and share your story in the comments. Let's build a community of people who chose to rise above. Hit that like button and help this message reach someone who needs to hear it today. Did this story hit you right in the heart? I want to know. Like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share it with someone who's been the family scapegoat. Your support doesn't just help me, it helps thousands of people realize they're not alone. Together, we're rewriting the narrative. Together, we're unstoppable.